Hello everybody and welcome back to Oulton Park post lunch break, and welcome back to some of the racing action that we've got on show. Race 7 currently working its way out of the assembly area, ready to go on to its green flag warming up lap. It will be a rolling start, which means one thing: it is the Legends Cars Championship that is currently heading out onto circuit for their second of their second of two 15-minute races, but they have a third race as well. That is the 20-minute sort of final of this weekend. We've already seen qualifying this morning from the Legends cars, but that doesn't actually set the grid for race 1 or 2. It sets the grid for race 3. Race 1 is done on a completely random number draw, so you sort of put your hand in a bag, pull out a number, and sort of the colour will denote what side of the grid, the number will denote where, and that forms the grid for the first race. You then reverse all of those for the second race. So say if you're on the inside of row 1 for the first race, you'll be on the outside of the final row for the second race. That's how it works, and then qualifying sets the grid for that third race. We saw a incredibly close race this morning, eventually won by Jack Parker, pardon me. Peter Barrable crossed the line to finish in second place, and Jamie Moylan in third. We need to keep an eye on championship points as well, because we do have a good amount of championships still up for grabs. But the way in which they will line up: Luke Simmons lines up on pole position alongside Tyler Reid. It's then Andy Bird and Chris Needham on row 2. Row 3 is Harry Musell and Mark Beattie, followed then by Ben Mahoney and Daniel Pooley. It's Ollie Lawler and Robert Barrable on row 5, and row 6 is Stephen Traherne and Jamie Moylan. Row 7 of the grid is Matt Knight and Nathan Anthony, followed by Peter Barrable and Nick Price, and it's Ollie Schlupp and Will Gibson, followed then by Eric Bolton and Steve Whiteleg. Jack Parker and Paul Musell make up 21st and 22nd. Starting in 23rd is Nick Bridgman alongside Aidan Hills in 24th place. Aidan naturally has to start off the back of the grid as he is effectively a guest driver. Then it is going to be Graham Butler, Leonard Woodcock and Mike Schlupp off the back of the grid. We do have the experimental car here this weekend as well. That's testing the 3-cylinder engine in that one, and I do have a name for you, bear with me, and I will be able to get that. Of course, it is always a guest driver. It is given the number 600, and it will always start in the pit lane. That's how it works. We've previously seen it driven by people at the likes of Miles Rudman, but this weekend it is in the hands of Ben Higgins. It is Ben Higgins in the number 600, and Richard John Neal, of course, who's covered the Legends plenty of times before, says he is a PR machine. Let's see what he can do behind the wheel of the experimental Legend this time. So the red lights are already on the gantry, the safety car has formed the field. James, who's your money on for this one? So I don't think we may have James down at Knickerbrook just as of yet. So I will have to wait and see.
Hi, Jack.
There he is. We do have James down there.
Yeah, ready for our second Legends race of the afternoon. Cars line up behind the safety car, all 27 of them. And it looks like hopefully we might have a bit of dry racing. Fingers crossed, Jack.
Fingers crossed. That has to be let's see as to in what order they will arrive at turn 1. Will it be the same in which they leave the grid? So we keep an eye on the gantry. The safety car peels away, and as the red lights will go out in a few moments' time, we'll be able to get the second Legends race underway. The red lights go out. It's a good start from all concerned. Over the line, is it going to be Simmons or Reid in towards turn 1? I think Simmons will just about hold on to the race lead. So Luke Simmons through turn 1. No, he's not. He somehow managed to, I think, just nibble the curb, and Tyler Reid somehow managed to find the grid, but then potentially misses a gear, and there's lots going on the exit of turn 1. Unfortunately, there's 5 cars involved. It is still going to be the number 25 in the hands of Luke Simmons that holds on to the lead. Then it will be Chris Needham, I think. This worked his way from 4th right the way up into 2nd place, and unfortunately one of those cars is going absolutely nowhere. One of the other cars involved was Peter Barrable. He had such a brilliant race 1, finishing in 2nd place, but unfortunately in this race I don't think he's going to go much further. He might be able to get that car struck back into life, but the other car that we're missing, and the other car involved, Paul Musell, he started on pole position in race 1. The red flags come out, so racing will be suspended. Paul Missel, he started on pole in race 1, James, and he had a brilliant start to that race. Unfortunately, race 2, he's not going to go any further than the exit of turn 1.
Absolutely, we couldn't go motor racing without the marshals. They're a central part of motorsport, and it's amazing that we have so many volunteers that are willing to give their weekend up to help all the drivers out and about on all the racetracks, not only in Britain but all over the world. And just looking at that car that's gone to the recovery truck, I'm just wondering if it's number 13, Chris Needham's car. I wondered if you could see number 13 in the pit lane or on the pit straight, because the car beginning of 1, and I think it might well be number 13, but I can't quite make it out.
No, I'm not sure exactly who it is. I didn't think it was Chris Needham. I thought he had a good start, and I think Chris's car is black and gold. I think it's the number 12 of Stephen Traherne. In the pit lane is the number 28, that being Harry Moussel. That's the last thing he wants. He wants to try and secure this rookie championship today. So he's already scored some points today, not enough to secure the championship. And currently his car is receiving a bit of an honest repair, really, just trying to make sure that one is back straight once again and making sure that any damage on that front bodywork is secure. They might need to just tape that front wing to ensure its rigidity, but the grid is just getting reshuffled very, very slightly, as I think a few drivers are now needs to get back going into the incorrect spot, or all of a sudden we may have a driver that isn't too happy with how his car is behaving on the grid. Who that is, I don't know. Back past me, Stephen Traherne. Good shout. Stephen Traherne is the other car that was unfortunately involved, and I don't necessarily think it is major suspension issue on that car. Maybe it is, but the front bumper has been bent back in towards the suspension area, and there's now a bit of a hole there, so they are having to try and deal with that as quickly as possible. We have also lost, that was either the number 32 of Daniel Pooley or the 62 of Eric Bolton. I've got a feeling that was Dan Pooley. We've got a stall on the grid as well. Going once again, I'm going to look down onto the grid and see exactly who it is that we may have missing. So I'm going to keep an eye out for Eric Bolton, car number 62, who should be by me there. There goes Eric Bolton. Yeah, so Daniel Pooley is in the pit lane. We've lost Stephen Traherne. Harry Moussel is going to be doing a pit lane start, so I think we've almost covered everybody, and of course Paul Moussel is back in the paddock.
Yeah, I was just going to say Paul Moussel's car was on a flatbed and going back to the paddock, but you just picked that up. So the cars are now all behind the safety car on their green flag lap, and hopefully we'll be able to go flying again very shortly.
Fingers crossed, that is the plan. The experimental car once again just works its way towards the pit exit and waits for the green lights to dictate when he can get back going again, and that explains why Daniel Pooley has come back to the pit lane. He needs a new rear bumper bar, and clearly at some point he has had quite a substantial knock on the rear of that car, so I don't think that car will be going anywhere immediately if they can get that car out and back running. Brilliant, and we're actually starting to see the first sort of indications of sunshine throughout today. Yeah, at least you are over your side of the circuit, James.
Yeah, the sun is bearing down on Knickerbrook. It's really nice actually to have the sun out finally. We've had rain, we've had dark clouds, and now sunshine looks like the next weather that Oulton Park is going to be throwing this afternoon, as the field are now making their way through Knickerbrook. We have on pole the number 25 car with Luke Simmons at the wheel. The field are making their way more or less in a 2x2 formation up Clay Hill, and a little bit of a gap between the top 6 and the rest of the field, so the rest of the field are able to go a lot quicker than the one directly behind the safety car. And unlike an earlier race, there's no clustering. All the cars very much close together, and I think they're all ready to go racing again.
I believe so as well. They're all forming up into their relative starting positions. I want to keep an eye on Aidan Hills, the number 2, predominantly from sort of Mazda Racing. Races in all kinds of different championships and series, and runs his own team, Hills Motorsport, as well. He's hired the car this weekend. I wasn't expecting to, and he's looking to have a 2025 campaign in the Legends as well, so that'd be very interesting for Aidan. Of course, his father raced Legends as well. So we look towards the final corner. The cars will work their way through. It's Tyler Reid on the outside, starting in second place, but as you say, pole sitter Luke Simmons on the inside. It'll be all eyes on him as to how quickly he can react to the lights. It's then going to be Chris Needham. It won't be Chris Needham, it will be Andy Bird in third place, Chris Needham in fourth place. The red lights are on. When they go out, we'll go back racing. Who gets the best start? Will it be Luke Simmons? Will it be Tyler Reid? On the run towards turn one, Luke Simmons is on the inside, Tyler Reid on the outside. Can he do it again all the way around the outside? Grabs the unpolished section of circuit. It gets very, very congested indeed on the run through turn one. I think we all managed to get through there. Unfortunately, I don't think Tyler Reid got the best start.
Heading down, the new leader is number 30, so 30 takes the lead off 25, so it is Andy Bird who's now leading the race, and he's being challenged now, but Andy Bird leads the way down Lakeside, and we have a car off at the rear of the field. That car is the blue and orange entry, 32 I think of Daniel Pooley, but he's got going again, and other than that the start was fairly uneventful, but we do have a new leader, and that is car 30 with Andy Bird overtaking number 25 of Luke Simmons on the second bend.
Daniel Pooley still in the pit lane. I'd imagine it might be Ollie Schlupp. You'll have to remind me of the colours. If it's orange and blue, it will be Ollie Schlupp. And unfortunately, I think we've lost. Is that Robert Barrable once again? Yeah. Robert Barrable is having a rotten start to his race too. Andy Bird picks his way through Nicker Brook right in front of you. Chris Needham still giving chase, and a very sideways Luke Simmons in front of Tyler Reid.
Yeah, Luke Simmons in third position, then in sixth is Tyler Reid, and you've also got the number 6 car as well, and then you have Jack Parker in fifth position in the orange car just behind Tyler Reid, and they are the top 5. So it is at the moment the number 30 who leads the way, but we have that blue car that came off earlier, has just spun again going through Nicker Brook, managed to correct itself. I'm just wondering what car that is. No, it's 34, but I can't be exactly certain. The leader's a review, Jack.
Yeah, they'll be back with me in a couple of moments' time through Lodge Corner, then over Deer Leap and back towards me once again. So Chris Needham leads the way ahead of Andy Bird over the line. Then it's Tyler Reid and a bit of bump drafting as Luke Simmons somehow manages to slingshot who was that they managed to work through? That was the number 44 machine of Jamie Moylan, who got effectively pushed up into third place. They worked their way along the avenue and back towards you. A massively congested section of circuit is already heading along the avenue and down in towards Cascades.
Chris Needham leads in the number 13 ahead of the 30 car of Bird, and then Reid in the number 6 is in third position, and they are the leading 3. So at the moment Chris Needham leads the way in the 13, the black and gold Ford ahead of Bird. Reid is in third, Moylan in the 44, Jamie Moylan in fourth position, and then Simon's currently in in fifth position in the number 25 car. So Chris Needham leads them into the Sherrill's hairpin, being hotly pursued by number 30 of Andy Bird, and then very much on their heels is Tyler Reid in the orange Ford in third position, and they now come back over Hilltop, and the leader continues to be Chris Needham as they come into Nicker Brook, and it looks like Tyler Reid has taken second position from number 30 of Bird. So Chris Needham from Tyler Hurd, and then Bird in third position in the 30 car. Then we have Jamie Moylan in the 44 in fourth position, and then behind those is the 24 in fifth, and they now go over Clay Hill, and it's very tight at the head of affairs.
It very much is. I'm sure Andy Bird might have something to say to Tyler Reid about that one, because through the yellow flags naturally you're not supposed to overtake, and Tyler Reid didn't. He was just very quick onto the throttle, having cleared those yellow flags, and was immediately putting Andy Bird under pressure once they got back up to under the green flag conditions. Trying to carve his way through the order is Will Gibson. He wants to lock up the championship here this weekend. They pick their way over Deer Leap and then back towards me. Over the start finish line goes Chris Needham, ticks another lap in the book with the fastest lap of the race, but that then trades between drivers all the way down the order, side by side in towards turn 1. Who's going to come out in towards second place? It will still just about be Tyler Reid ahead of Andy Bird. Andy Bird is under big pressure from the number 44 of Jamie Moylan. So those top 4 absolutely together. The fastest lap of the race goes the way of Tyler Reid, a 2:02.003.
Yeah, so the leader continues to be Chris Needham, with Andy Bird right behind in second position, and then in third place continues to be Reid. So Bird still in second position, Reid, and then Jamie Moylan in fourth. Little change right at the head of affairs. Those 4 very, very close together indeed. We did have some kind of off for Adrian Hills on the previous lap, but he got back racing again. The field now going through the Charles hairpin.
Yeah, they are indeed. So bouncing over the curbs go the top 4 and back towards Hilltop once again. Don't rule out a couple of the cars in the background that seem to be getting closer. Luke Simmons, of course, starting from pole. He's trying to carve his way back through the order, but Chris Needham under big pressure for Tyler Reid towards you now.
Yeah, so Chris Needham holds on. Tyler Bird is right on there. Andy Bird is right up the inside, tries to look up his inside of Clay Hill, but Chris Needham hangs on. Chris Needham has the lead from Andy Bird. It's very close indeed between Chris Needham and the number 6 car of Tyler Reid. So it is Chris Needham from in second position, Tyler Reid, then Andy Bird in third, and then Jamie Moylan in fourth position as they go through Druids.
So Jamie Moylan, pardon me, continues to give chase in what is now third place. So Chris Needham leads the number 6 machine of Tyler Reid. So it's Chris Needham from Tyler Reid from Jamie Moylan. I'm not exactly sure what happened to Andy Bird because I can't see him inside that top 3 at least. No, he is down there in fourth place and falling away quite substantially. Once again, the fastest lap of the race trades. It remains with Tyler Reid, however, a 2-minute 1.033. And Jamie Moylan is continuing to apply that pressure for the mid-pack with 3 wide almost over the line. What of Aidan Hills? Is he continuing to carve his way up through the order? We'll try and pick out exactly where he is. He's not necessarily where he'd want to be, down in 23rd place, but there's a big pack of cars heading down the hill towards you.
Yeah, and Chris Needham still leads the way from in second position, Tyler Hurd, then Andy Bird in third. There's a little bit of a break then, 2 in fourth position. Moylan is in third and then Bird in fourth position. Then Luke Simons is in fifth as they head along the lakeside now. And there's a few cars overtaking Robert Bauer by looks of things further down the order. The lead is already at the Shallows hairpin. And let's have a look, they've gone out of view again, so the camera's not quite on the leaders, so hopefully they'll come back over Hilltop, and they do. And it is still Chris Needham who leads the way from in second position, Tyler Reid, then Jamie Moylan in third. These 3 very close indeed. Tyler Reid right on the bumper of the leader Chris Needham in the black car, so it is Needham who leads from Tyler Reid in the red, and then Jamie Moylan in the orange car. They are the leading trio as we have a car off going up Clay Hill, and that car is number 22. So 22 of Matt Knight comes off at Clay Hill, and he's just caused a further collision. So the number 85 is now spun on the inside, so 85 of Mark Beattie has also rejoined the tarmac, and they are able to both get racing again.
Yeah, they are indeed, and it looks very, very close indeed through that section of the circuit. Over the line, side by side for the race lead. Chris Needham, can he fend off Tyler Reid? Tyler Reid looks to the inside, no, not this time. But Tyler is making his intentions known. However, that has now left him vulnerable to Jamie Moylan, who's giving chase over the crest. Down the hill they will go, and there was almost contact between them, but Jamie Moylan decides discretion is the better part of valour. We're on the final lap of the race now, and Tyler Reid, he is through and away. He doesn't need to keep an eye on that mirror. Jamie Moylan is just a little bit too far away to concern him now, but Chris Needham, he is doing everything he can to hold on to this race lead. He had varying successes in previous years. This year, again, he just wants to make sure that consistent podium will come his way. And currently into the pit lane, one of the cars you mentioned earlier, Matt Knight. Unfortunately, he will go no further. Through the Britain chicane for the final time go the race leaders, but it is still Chris Needham ahead of Tyler Reid, and I think now Jamie Moylan is just that little bit too far back to think about challenging for the race win.
And meanwhile, Luke Simmons is challenging Andy Bird for 4th position as the leaders come over Hilltop, and it is Chris Needham who still has the lead. Tyler Reid looking down his outside, goes round wide, can't quite on this, knocks up ever so slightly, now tries to go over his inside, but Needham still has the lead. Needham in the black has the lead. Tyler Reid in 2nd position is all over this leader, but he just can't get past however hard he tries. There's a break then, or a little bit to Jamie Moylan before we get to Andy Bird, who's managed to fight off Simmons to keep 4th position.
Yeah, it seems like Tyler Reid's got the key, he just can't quite unlock the door at the moment. Under the Warwick Bridge for the final time, the short straight towards the Lodge corner, once again defensive by Chris Needham, but Tyler Reid tells him the dummy later on the brakes, can he dive his way up through the inside on the final corner, on the final lap of the race for the race lead. There's contact between the pair of them, Chris Needham's pitched into a spin, around he goes, and Tyler Reid will come through to take the win ahead of Jamie Moylan in 2nd place. Chris Needham will come over the line to what could potentially now be 5th place after spinning through 360 degrees. So Tyler Reid over the line to finish 1st. Jamie Moylan crosses the line in 2nd place. Luke Simmons inherits 3rd place. It's then going to be Andy Bird in 4th place. Chris Needham, unfortunately, from 1st to 5th on the final corner, followed then by Will Gibson over the line in 6th place. Then it will be the number 4 machine of Jack Parker after a good race 1, follows up with a good race 2 to finish in 7th place. Ollie Schlupp finishes in 8th place with the fastest lap on the final lap of the race, a 1 minute 58.938. And it will be the number 94 machine in the hands of Steve Whiteleg. He will come over the line in 10th place. I missed out as well, apologies, I missed out the number 68 machine, and that being in the hands of Nick Bridgman in 9th place. But wow, what a final lap of the race, eh, James?
I don't think I've ever seen such a dramatic finish to a race before. The leading car being spun 360 degrees, literally metres before the finish line. It was quite something to watch.
It was, I'm sure relative conversations will ensue following that race, but that was the second of 3 races for the Legends Cars Championships. That's the end of their 15-minute races. They do have a 20-minute race come the end of today. But let's run you through the provisional finishing results. Tyler Reid takes the win ahead of Jamie Moylan, and Luke Simmons rounds out your podium ahead of Andy Bird and Chris Needham. Your top 5. Will Gibson and Jack Parker 6th and 7th, ahead of Ollie Schlupp in 8th place, Nick Bridgman in 9th, and Stephen Whiteleg rounds out your top 10. It's then Eric Bolton and Harry Mussel together. Those 2 rivals in the Rookie Championship. Mike Schlupp and Mark Beattie 13th and 14th, ahead of Peter Barrable and Graham Butler. Then it's Aidan Hills, Owen Lawler, Ben Mahoney, Leonard Woodcock, Nick Price and Matt Knight round out your 22 strong finishers. We lost Nathan Anthony before the end of the race, and Robert Barrable unfortunately didn't get there either. That is the results from that section of the race. Unfortunately, we did lose a few more in the early stages of the race as well, post or pre-red flag. Post-red flag, those were the results.